See, I do not had a electronics and engineering kind of knowledge, but there are a lot of other things which in the background and you have to do, right?
Right.
So those kind of things I worked with my friend, and we created a quality products and received orders from customers, including Jodhpur military and NGOs as well.
Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast series by World Development Corporation. I am Rajesh Joshi, uncovering some great achievements and contributions of unsung heroes inspiring others. I'm happy to introduce Mr. Ankesh Jain on our show today. With a decade in leadership roles, he has left a significant impact on the corporate world. At present, he's serving as Senior DevOps Manager at Yagna IQ. We welcome you to the show, Mr. Jain. It is great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rajesh, and it was a pleasure to meet you as well as see you on this podcast. And it's really like I'm excited to join this, and it would be a very good journey throughout this podcast.
Oh, yes, absolutely. The pleasure is all ours, sir. To start this journey, Mr. Jain, just taking a look at your profile, it seems like you've been driven by will more than anything else. I mean, the number of accomplishments, vastness of your work roles, etc., they all point at this. I would love to know, along with all our viewers, of course, how do you gather so much of will for your day-to-day life?
Okay, thank you so much to give me opportunity to answer this. Okay, so I believe that my journey has been defined by a constant drive to learn and adapt. So because see, this is a lot of unfamiliar familiar challenges comes into the life, and you have to just adapt and learn and continuously learn this. That is the most important thing in your life. And this came from my root early experience, and you can say from the childhood where I started planning, solving the problems, and doing the execution. So I will just give you the little bit example for this.
Yes,
Like,
please.
say, so every year, my family goes on the trips. When I was on uh, maybe seventh, eighth standards, or near to 10th standards.
Uh-huh.
So that time I got a responsibility for every single thing. What means like planning, then selecting the destinations, then managing budget, how the things will be there, and what are the things and the places will going to be visit. So there are a lot of things which I need to plan for my whole family. So these kind of
Wow.
experience nurtures my analytical skill, operational skills, and I develop a knack for finding alternative solution for problems, because it might be possible that some or other problems comes in when we are at the place, and
Mhm.
it might be possible that the execution which we wanted same it not happen at that time, right? So
Mhm.
I enjoyed the process of turning an idea into the reality. So that was the good thing which I learned in the past in my childhood itself, and planning trip and solving complex logistic problem for
Huh?
my and my families.
Mhm.
Okay, so from there itself, I started now. This is again. So after that, after 10th, I joined for the IIT preparation.
Okay.
So that was for drastic change for myself, because the determination and hard work required for entrance of the IT, that is
Mhm.
the very means like it required. And then I got into the IIT BHU as a pharmaceutical engineering branch placement.
Okay.
This was you can say unexpected twist in my journey, because I never heard about pharmaceutical engineering, and
Uh-huh.
that was completely a, again you can see that how the things get changed, and unfamiliar field came to me. But
Mhm.
then again, willingness comes here, and never fear about the opportunity which you are getting. Just go and find yourself into it, that how the things will going to work. And I strongly believe that no challenge is insurmountable, mountable, if you are willing to immerse yourself and turn into the passion or hobby. So that was the thing which I started doing and applying my analytical skills and navigating the new domain with the success. So that was the journey which I had in my college. And at the same time, okay, so I just wanted to give you heads up that what I did specifically when my college, I was just about to finish the college. So
Right.
that was again a new thing for me, which my friend and I found. That was, you can say, entrepreneurial journey for me. You can say at that time, we launched a company that is called as VR Engineering. That was focused on the LED lighting solution. So
Okay.
again, it's like from the mathematics background,
Yeah.
I came into the pharmaceutical, then I went into the LED lighting solution. So
Right.
yes, you see, no, you can say no domain as like I did not touch, as well as I had a very vast experience in different kind of areas where I it's like spent across product research, design, raw material, procurement, marketing, even launching our website as well. Because see, I do not had a electronics and engineering kind of knowledge, but there are a lot of other things which in the background and you have to do, right?
Right.
So those kind of things I worked with my friend and we created a quality products and received orders from customers, including Jodhpur military and NGOs as well. So we got a lot of appreciation from surrounding where we worked and we sold the products as well. But however, due to the cost, that is the main part, right? For
Right.
every industry. And
Right.
at that time, it's like past 2008. I'm talking about the 2008, where you can see that not a like today's we have a lot of venture capitalist where immediately you will just go and you will find a lot of entrepreneur who are already angel investors and they are willing to either buy your company or invest into the company. But at
Right.
that time, that due to the limited access of funding, especially, so we had to shut down the company. Though the project did not succeed financially, it was invaluable experience for me. I learned about company formation, customer relation, marketing across different platforms, all which which have been incredibly useful in my later roles. So
Right.
it's a great learning. So every it's like even though failures were there for you, though it does not matter that you just stop doing the things. You have
Right.
to keep learning and progress in your life and career. Right. So,
Absolutely.
so that kind of things was very fantastic. Miss, like I never look back, but I learned a lot from my experience, whatever I have done in my career. So now the thing is, after that, Miss, like that was a continuous part for when I joined the IT company. So that was again a twist for me. So now you can see this is the fourth twist you can say in my life where I just joined the software industry. That is a
Right.
cognizant technology solution which I joined at the after my graduation, and that is a leading IT company. So I got a very good opportunity there. This marked a significant shift again for me, and then now I worked on in a computer science with a software. Now this is again an unfamiliar territory for me. Though the software is like that time, I am talking about the past 2008 when not so much devices, not so many different kind of these mobiles and were there, right? And
Right.
technology was like booming at that time. So that kind of again a learning experience and from the past which I used here and my experience for adaptability and willingness to learn and can transform any challenge into an opportunity. So that was again a fantastic journey in the cognizant where I dedicated my years for, you can say, nurture my again different kind of set of skills. You can say from the technology perspectives because that was like I am a junior and working as a software engineer there. So now in this field, I contributed several key projects to the cognition where I got a different kind of work in a same domain which I did in the pharmaceutical engineering as a graduation. So here I worked with Mark Pharmaceutical Company on a clinical trial software project. So now thing is like when I did a graduation, which I really used here as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a kind of an integration of the what you did in your graduation and the company where you are worked with the project, which is really useful for you as well as you are working and you are you can say using your graduation knowledge into your software skill. So that was again a fantastic part for the journey which did at that time when I was in the cognition. Okay.
Right, Mr. Jain, we will come to the IT part a little later, but let me be very honest and upfront with you. The start itself was so explosive. I mean, you have literally blown away the minds of so many viewers. I can be sure of that. That includes me. That at such a young age, you have actually by was it by choice or by force? That's not the point of discussion here, but you were actually experiencing the roles and responsibilities that generally people experience in corporates, or maybe after they have completed their graduations or after their degrees. You started experiencing them at such an early age, and I'm sure, I mean, whatever you have just mentioned so far, in at every single stage in your life, wherever either there has been an industry change or maybe a role change, or for that matter, as you rightly said, a domain change, totally 180-degree opposite to what you have been studying. I believe those formative years and the experiences that those formative years that have taught you the basics of it, as to how do you approach a particular opportunity or a challenge or a problem, if I may say so, and then go about analyzing various ways, have a contingency plan if required. If this doesn't work, what do I do, etc., etc. That is phenomenal, and I'm 100% sure. People, parents, I'm sure watching this would definitely take a leaf out of this particular part. That why don't you let your kid do all the planning, because this training, I believe, is much more important and I believe relevant than what he would get to learn in schools and colleges at in the later years of his life. As I mentioned, we will come to the IT part, and now I come to the IT part. That having worked across various
Okay,
industries.
before that, I just wanted to add
Yes,
couple of
please.
more thing into it,
Yes,
where
please.
you have asked for the willingness and all, right?
Right,
Where
right.
so one more thing I just wanted to highlight for the
Uh-huh.
curiosity. So that
Oh
is,
yes.
if you have a curiosity to know things, and you wanted to go into the some different, you can say area itself, or maybe whenever you come,
Mhm.
whenever any opportunity comes into your way, never ever just discard it. Just
Mhm.
grab it. Because see, some or other things you will get into it, right?
Right, right.
Nothing is there which you cannot learn, in my opinion. And curiosity, if you have a curiosity to know, then you yourself go into the deep again into it, right? Like
Absolutely.
I have done in the past, and I taken every single thing as a challenge along with the opportunity, right? Obviously. So I am
Right.
very grateful for this experience, as they have module, you can say, molded my willpower and my passion for continuous learning.
Oh yes, oh yes, absolutely. And back in the days, this is when I started my career. I had a section of teachers who would say that the phrase, "jack of all and master of none," is becoming irrelevant. This was way back in the late 80s, where a couple of teachers came and told me. I mean, when I was actually discussing my career with them, and they said that "jack of all and master of none" is no longer relevant, and "jack of all" is actually going to be relevant. And as it is evident, I mean, from professionals like you, whenever I get to talk to people who have actually traversed across various industries, and not just went, and not just have been, but have excelled in all those roles and opportunities. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. Which brings me to the next point, that having worked across various industries, you found your long lasting interest in IT. Could you tell us how did you develop an interest in IT and share with our viewers your journey so far in reaching a level of excellence in this field?
Okay, so thank you once again to give me the answer for this and fantastic question related to this, because see now as I have seen the multiple different kind of you can say experience I have done in my career in the past. Now this is kind of say you it's like IT is the most important you can say transition which I can say in my career
Mhm.
from joining the cognizant. Okay, so that is like it's kind of a thing that a lot of you can say people already have this kind of experience where they come across the different fields and they have to do something different. But you have to find your passion somewhere. So I
Right.
found my passion into the IT because see, from starting, I told you, right? The one thing is the willingness to learn more. You have you have to grab the opportunity. You have to be a curious person because see, IT is you can say not a yearly, but it's changing very drastically from last past couple of 10 years or 15 years. A lot of new technology tools challenges has came, and every year you have to learn some or other things in if you are in IT to
Absolutely.
grow in this career as well as to grow the company itself, right,
Mhm.
where you are working. So that was my career where I started in IT as a QA. So that was
Mhm.
the opportunity I got in Cognizant where I worked as a QA engineer. Now that is very challenging role again. The process from manual, and I transferred that thing into from process of manual to the automation, and
Okay.
that is the evaluation for me itself and for the company also, right? Each project demanded critical thinking, capturing detailed scenarios, ensuring the product integration and security were the top notch in this area.
Right. Right.
That kind of things I started working on. And now, when I say QA professional, so what exactly it is, and
Mhm.
how I went into it. So I understood the immense responsibility of delivering the quality product because it required a head of a kind of a person where you have, it's like the customer is going to use that product. And now
Right.
it has to be nurtured like should not have any kind of a bug. And same which I learned in my previous experience when I started as an entrepreneur, the LED company, right? So there
Right.
itself, the customer has to it's like praise the product that okay, it does not have any bug. It is looking look and feel is very fine, and how the it's like that will evolve in the next, and how the things will grow in that product, and how much we can use. The same thing when you are a QA, you have to know about this that the product which is used by the customer has to be very fine. And from here I started working on the different tools, technology, frameworks, and I reached to the position for a QA lead. And after a couple of years experience in the QA industry, as a QA analyst and QA lead, I exposed myself into a different domains. From
Mhm.
Cognizant, I started with the life science. I told you, right? The project which I did in the Merck, sorry, pharmaceutical engineering. That was a life
Right.
science domain, right? Then I went into the different company. I switched from Cognizant to the fast track software solution, where I worked in the communication, media, and technology domain, then into the telecommunication and technology in retail and finance domain. So that kind of different domains experience I have till now in the Yagna IQ, where where I am working with the different big partners or companies, you can say the Cisco, VMware, and previously I worked in the with Microsoft as well. So there are multiple different domains on which I got an exposure and worked in a different product, which you can say like in a different industry like clinical trial in the life sciences domain. Then I have worked in the with the Microsoft on a, that is nothing but the Microsoft Imagine Cup. That is a quiz portal. Then
Okay.
it's a another the job portal, you can say, that is a clear ship. Then I worked on the e-commerce platform. Then I worked on the CPQ, renewal, cross-sell, CRM. So the payment and subscription are the furthermore expansion. So there are a lot of different things on which projects which I worked and have a good knowledge and exposure in this area. So now you will just not going to be surprised because I already have a lot of different kind of experience in the different areas. Now again, I got another transition from
Uh-huh.
QA to the DevOps and IT. So
Okay.
that was again a transition for me. And really, I was also excited for this when I got this opportunity. Because in my company, the DevOps and IT was a little bit unexplored. And
Uh-huh.
it was completely a mass up. It's like you can say that was nothing was there, and a lot of things has to be done. Now,
Mhm.
I told, yes, this is the opportunity for me where I can show my skills and I do lot of work in this area. So I
Mhm.
started taking the again one more challenge for me. I introduces now, first of all, learning. So you have to learn yourself, then teach your team. So this time
Absolutely.
I was a DevOps and IT department manager itself. And meanwhile, I am handling the QA automation as well,
Okay.
technology perspective. Now here, the unexplored part I have explored in the company and started taking the challenges and introduces new enhancement in the technology, security part, then processes, successful reduce the cost of AWS cloud infrastructure, improving the performance in this area. And one of the best, most significant achievement for me in this company when I was as a working as a DevOps and IT security manager is
Mhm.
ISO process. Then
Okay.
I got a ISO's certificate for the company. And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
wear as a ISMS manager hat also at the same time. So that was again a big challenge when I was, first of all, from the technology perspective, I was working in the a lot of different tools in even AWS infrastructure, finding the different, comparing the tools and how the things has to work. Then again, the process. See, not a single process and documents were not there. So I involved and got involved the team completely and taught them about these kind of new technology which has to be which has to be used in the company. There are a lot of open source and licensing versions, different virtualization tool and the security tools, you can say, right? So
Mhm.
from that perspective, ISO is the key which we got its success there. Now
Okay.
I just tell you about the ISO story. So
Mhm.
that was a fantastic journey for me because it's a, you can say, 1 year complete journey for me, specifically when I started preparing for the ISO for a company. Because
Okay.
see, that is not a very small thing. There are a lot of different controls which you have to be find, and you have to not only your team, but you have to work with your HR, you have to work with the developer team, you have to work QA, you have to work IT, you have to work with the customer success. Every single part will come into the ISO because ISO is a process the whole company has to follow.
Right.
Right? And
Right.
every single person you have to teach first. Then only they will learn and then they will start utilizing that process and they will, because see, always it's like people resist him to change the process, right? You also
Right.
know. It's
Absolutely.
like whenever any new process and anything comes, that is the first challenge when you have to meet that, because you have to tell them how important it is and how the companies are experiencing now. When you have the experience, then you will get advantage to the every single person in you. And okay, so now the good thing which I just wanted to tell myself, that when I get the experience of everything, then I
Mhm.
just try to give it as an example to the someone, so that they can also learn and teach, and they should not do the mistake which we have already done, and we have already seen someone has already done it.
Right,
That
right.
benefit you have to pass on to your team for every single. It's not that if you are working as a DevOps and IT, no, but you have to pass on the other team members, because there are a lot of process which is helpful for other team member also. It's
Correct.
not only for one team member or one you can say area. So there are a lot of like couple of soft skills you have to use in every single part of your career, as well as in every domain. Either it's a area of field or it's a different kind of module. So those kind of
Right.
things I have done in my career for specifically when I was a manager. Because when you have a leadership skill and you have a manager skill, then you will be able to teach your team, and where that if the team is working very finely or nicely with you, then obviously you will also grow, your company will grow, and you will not find any mistake in whatever they are doing, or whatever the operational things you are working on, though those will get success. Because that is
Right.
another thing which I just wanted to tell you, operational.
Right.
There are a lot of you can say big projects which I have handled. That was the biggest one is ISO, which I can say you, because
Mhm.
that is the challenging, where you have to get the certificate, you have to face the auditor also. So let me just give you the a little bit idea how the things will happen in the ISO certificate.
Mhm.
So that ISO certificate itself helped me sharpen my technical skills, as well as in the processing area, where you
Mhm.
have to teach your team, and you have to understand deeper into the cyber security first, because it's completely related to information security management system. So there are a
Okay.
lot of different policies you have to follow, different procedures you have to follow. Before that, you have to create those. So that is again a part of documentation, where you have to review, you have to create whatever the documents is created, either by the team, either by the different segments itself. It's like you can say the HR department is creating the couple of document, QA or development is creating couple of procedures, and then customer success has their own documents, and the different kind of tools which we are using, like VAPT. That is nothing but the penetration testing, vulnerability testing, which you have to do. So there are a lot of different tools and technologies you have to use for that. Even you have to hire a third party also. So that is again
Right.
a part of when you are doing the ISO, you have to work on different things, like from the security perspective, I am saying. So utilizing different security tools, overseeing the document of policies, procedures, and following those, and work on the key areas from that. And it gave me a chance to conduct comprehensive reviews and audits across all departments. So that was again a fantastic thing, which I enjoyed really well, very well, and took my as a my passion, because now you have to also face the auditor, external auditor, right? So first you have to make yourself that okay, how the audit has happened. So I
Yep.
did the audit for every single department, where that changes my it's like improved my managerial skills as well. And then
Mhm.
organizing and leading sessions on cybersecurity and ISMS policies. So that I have to do myself, to give the session, to take the sessions on ISMS, that what it is, what are the different policies, how the
Mhm.
security works in the company. From the example I have to raise, it's like give that okay, how the things will, because see, until unless you don't give the example, it's very difficult these kind of documentation to read and understand also. So that kind of uh, things which is required in the organization to aware about these kind of policies and procedures. Then fostering a culture of security. So that's
Mhm.
most important. When someone is no, I will not do, I am like this. So even it's a simple example like password. You have to keep your password yourself, right? You cannot share those kind of things with anyone. Even though it's a, see, when you are working as a IT software, the security is the most important, because there are a lot of customers which are using your software, and we have
Absolutely.
our own product in this company. So that is used by throughout it's like lot of different areas in the world, and where you have a different kind of security rules itself, like GDPR. So that is nothing but the European standards we have to follow. Indian standards are also now implemented and shared by the Indian regulation that you have to follow. So every country has their own regulation for the security. So same thing we have to follow in the company. And when we can follow, when everyone get the knowledge about it, right? And then finally facing the external auditor during the ISO audit as an incredibly rewarding experience, as it has tested my ability uh, for what? Accurate, giving the deep researched answers, because see, there is no syllabus kind of things. Previously
Right.
you has to have a lot of syllabus, that okay, when you have in curriculum, or you are reading in the or you are giving a some kind of certificate, then you have a you can say complete syllabus, that okay, this is the scope. But here you don't have a kind of a syllabus also, right? You have a vast industry where you have to use it and process and define it. So you have to face those kind of questions in front of the auditor, and you answered it. So that was a very good, fantastic, like kind of a thing which I did as well as in my career, where I made it. I and got the ISO certification. So that was a fantastic journey. It's like where I it's like as a senior manager of 16 years of experience now. I'm fortunate to have a wider scope of transform my ideas into the reality in different kind of whatever the challenges or the opportunity comes in my field. So I focus on improving the productivity, engineering performance, adapting in new tools and technologies, optimizing the cost for industry. So that is again a major challenge, which really I got it from myself, from the DevOps, because see, when you are the DevOps has so many tools and licensing versions, you have to take care in the IT also, because a lot of procurement you have to do in the IT. So now let me tell you about the experience which I had in my LED LED company, which I opened as an entrepreneur, right? At that time, I communicated a lot of, I procured raw materials, and I discussed a lot of with the vendors. So the same experience I used here to discuss communication and as well as negotiation part with the different vendors for either it's a purchasing of the hardware, either it's purchasing of the software, or the licensing versions, subscriptions. So there are a lot of different where different places where you have to optimize the cost and different matter, how the things has been used in the company, how the it's like you can optimize the cost for the AWS infrastructure, where some or other things get misused. So you have to monitor it. So you have to before, and for that you have to create a nice chart dashboard, so that you yourself get the complete picture out of it, that okay, how the things are working in your company and in your team, right? And setting the process to ensure that things are getting monitored, and in both innovative and efficiency comes into the picture. Then building strong teams, improving documentation, recruitment are also part of my responsibility, where allowing me to contribute to the company's growth in meaningful ways. Because if you are if your team is very good, either it's a soft skill or the you can say technical skills, then obviously you will try to get into the different things, because you just teach your team, they will start working on those, and you will find new ways and new technologies to work on it. So there are
Right.
a lot of opportunities which I got in my career, where I worked on really fantastic things, means like different kind of exposure which I got. So that's all, miss, like from the IT perspective, which I can share my experience.
Absolutely, absolutely right, Mr. Jain. Finding the right opportunity and at the right time, and grabbing it and turning it into success. I mean, that I believe is something that that again, I mean, referring back, it comes to you so very naturally, and I think it is ingrained into your system as as your way of looking at life and looking at opportunities and career opportunities and so on.
See, I just wanted to say, it's like when my career turning around and
Mhm.
giving me the different kind of opportunity, I never lose, first of all, temper. I never lose the, you can say, the ego part. And
Mhm.
like it should not come into your way, right? And the technology, when it is changing, I learned myself. See, previously in the past, you can say in the when I was in 2008, and were not so many documents or not so many learning ways. Nowadays, you have a Google, right? It's like there are a lot of different ways and YouTube where you can learn. But when you are learning, you also need to make sure that the things are right and correct, because there are a
Correct.
lot of different ways of learning where you can do yourself, and because you have to teach those kind of things to your junior as well. Because if you are passing this information to your junior, then only you will it's like they will grow as well as the company will grow. So that was the
Absolutely.
thing, is like which I did for my company where I am working right now, where it's like not only from this getting the certificate, but changing the complete environment process, and including and operationally, that is the most important thing. When see anything, it's like either you are you can say one of the things you are uh, you can say new tool. Okay, let's take an example that new tool has came into the company, which everyone has to use. Now, operationally, it has to go something that no one should get impacted. And that is the most important part you have to do yourself, that operationally how to pass on to the every single person. And that is called as a success, when operationally every single thing went into the spoot and every single person has learned and started utilizing as well. So that is again one more skill which I got myself into the this career, where operationally how the from starting to the end you have to it's like follow the path and success, and so that everyone utilize it.
But during this entire journey, Mr. Jain, you worked on your soft skills as well. I mean, is it got something to do with grabbing more opportunities in your professional life? What's the importance?
Okay, so when you said about the soft skill, yes, if you have it's like you really need it, because you are working in an environment where the lot of different team members are also working, right? And you have to engage with every single different teams, not only for your team. I'm saying you have to work with the different teams, and you have to educate, you have to discuss with them, you have to understand their challenges also. Because see, when you are working as a ISO manager, you can say ISMS manager and security manager, then you will get a lot of different kind of questions in your way and path, because and you have to handle those kind of things very softly.
Right.
And you can say you have to be quick to answer, you have to be little bit you can say have a common sense also for those kind of things. Because see, when you are in a DevOps and ID, you will face a lot of different challenges. Let me give you the example for challenging. Sometimes the servers are in your custody, you can say you are the owner, right, of the
Right.
kind of server when you are working as a DevOps and IT manager. Now,
Right.
anything happening on the servers. Okay. Okay. Let me give you the one more best example.
Mhm.
When I was a manager in 2000 this 21 22, when Corona came, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that was kind of a different situation when everyone was working in the office, and now that's it's like the situation arises that you have to go home, and not you cannot touch your office, and then obviously you cannot touch your software as well. And previously we never had a work from home policies, and we never had a work from home kind of thing. So now that was again a main challenge which we faced at that time, that every single thing we have to mold into, like, you should be connected with your home. Everyone should have the internet facility at their home first of all, then started working, because this is the software part where any single thing can be moved immediately to the cloud. So now
Correct.
that time we found the solution, and immediately it's like we started working that okay, all the these servers has to move to the cloud. So that was a very big, you can say, challenge which we found, and we solved, and we answered the everyone's questions, that how the things will going to work alternatively. So that is that means like I just wanted to highlight this, that in the DevOps and IT, you always need to find the alternate solution, because if something gets down, then what is the solution? Because you have to provide within couple of minutes or hours, because the you cannot lose productivity for the team, because the complete entire team is dependent on you. So see
Right.
how much responsibility you have as a DevOps and IT manager. Even let's say the example of production itself. Production is used by a lot of customers, and throughout the world it is. And now we cannot lose any single point of minutes of the servers. So that is again a one more bigger responsibility you should have in your shoulder. So that kind of so to handle it and to relax yourself, and not to have a pressure, that is another soft skill you should have in yourself, right? So I'm just giving you the example to explain which is required in this industry as well as in this role, where I got that okay, because if you have a pressure, then you will never going to think more. You cannot think about the alternate solution as well. You should not have a tension in your mind that okay, this is there, this is that. And now the experience gave me lot of it's like a past experience, that how to handle the situation. So now I'm just giving you the heads up that these skills have played a crucial role in seizing the opportunities and moving forward in the professional life. So that is the key factors you can see. As a software skill, I have relied one in observation, which I learned in my past from the QA's perspective. And the observation comes into the picture as well as into your day-to-day life. Why? Because see, when you are observing, either it's a team, either it's a technology, either it's day-to-day processes. So when you have a better observation power, you will get understanding, you will get review, that how the things has to be reviewed, right? So early in my career, I began from the QA itself. I started from the observing, because that is a key skill in when you are in a QA. Because
Right.
every single software you or the product, you have to observe, you have to find that okay, what are the things you can do, you have to give the suggestions, you have to come up with the new ideas, right? Because then only you have to increase and improve your product. So this helped me to capture detailed scenarios when I was in QA, and better understanding for the customer needs. So now
Right.
comes into the another soft skills like analysis, critical thinking. As I transit from manual QA to the automation, I started. I had to analyze the complex systems and process, which sharpened my ability to break down the problems into the manageable parts and to find an effective solution for those. So that kind of skills become particularly useful when I moved to from QA to the started handling the multiple projects simultaneously. So
Right.
that is again, it's like that is skills are very important when you are working in a technical field. So now comes to the leadership and manager skill. That has to be prominent as I look larger responsibilities. So I already told, right? The larger responsibilities lies in your shoulder when you are working in a DevOps and IT, and the security, the most important point. Nowadays, you are already seeing that how much important as a cyber security in every single company. And there are a lot of opportunity in this area because see, now hackers are now everywhere. And it's like they are also finding the new ways to hack in the when technologies are increasing and improving from positive side, the negative side is also there where they are trying to do those kind of thing in a different way and different manners. So this skills are very important when my okay, so now I come to the communication part also, that become a paramount in leading team across QA and DevOps. It was not just about managing tasks. It was just inspiring my teams, setting clear goals for them, expectation for them, fostering the collaborations and ensuring alignment with our broader goals, which we have in the company. And these leadership qualities, along with a strategic approach to the management, because you have to keep your management to acknowledge these kind of things and have been instrumental in successfully executing large scale projects and guiding teams throughout the changes. So these kind of things are very necessary when you are working with as a leader and for a bigger team. um, so when I said for the DevOps and IT, uh, it required quick learning as well, because nowadays which I have already explained, that how fast you have to go along with the technology, like AI ML is the biggest thing which started from the previous couple of years itself. But now if you go with that, then only you will able to survive in future, in the company itself, because company also required AI ML in your product. That is in demanding nowadays. And the power of the decision making, when to do what and at the right time, that is become vital in introducing new technologies, improving the performance and optimizing the things. And see, the rolling out the big changes smoothly and making them operationally successfully required strong negotiation skills, as well as building good connections with vendors, which becomes essential in my DevOps work.
Great, great. Mr. Jain, uh, obviously, from all that you have actually described to all our viewers and to all and sundry, if I may say so, because it involves so many functions that you cannot limit them to one particular domain. What one particular advice that you would want to give to our viewers, considering your own efforts of upskilling to suit the requirement for changes in the corporate world, and the current scenario, if you may look at it, maybe the AI ML scenario, or maybe the changing technology landscape scenario, or the changing attention scenario, the difficulties or the challenges that one would encounter in passing on organization objective down to the last mile. What is that one or two quick advice that you would like to give our viewers?
Okay, that's good. So thank you so much to give the opportunity to explain this to the viewers. So because see, nowadays it's very difficult. Learning is very easy, but getting the right advice is also very important. So see, from my angle, in my industry which I have worked, upskilling is definitely essential part, right? And then especially in today's fast-paced corporate environment, where technology and business needs evolve constantly. If there is one piece of advice I would give, it's always remain curious and proactive in learning.
So great.
Right. So first, keep yourself open to change, right? Which
Right.
I did myself, right? From experience, I am getting this. And when See, that's why it's like when you wanted to grow in your career, you have to grab the opportunity and open yourself for the change and don't resist those kind of things, because you everywhere you will get a learning, whether it's a new technology, new methodologies, or even new role. Away don't shy away from stepping out for of your comfort zone. So see, when you will get your comfort zone, you will be lazy and you will never ever grow yourself. In my case, I started it from QA, but I was eager to learn more, which I lead into the DevOps and IT, then cybersecurity, then ISMS manager. These transition helped me discover new interests and sharpen my technical skills. Right?
Absolutely. I believe you kind of summed it up in the first couple of statements itself when you said that you got to be open to change and be curious and be willing to learn and, if I may say so, discover yourself and experiment with yourself. That's absolutely fantastic.
Exactly.
That's absolutely fantastic, Mr. Jain.
Because see, not only technical, but your soft skills also matters. And
Absolutely.
and you have to stand still. It's like to the corporate world does not is so much miss like vast and improving and increasing too fast. It's like it's going very fast, right?
Mhm.
So whether through certification, online courses, hands-on projects make learning a habit. Focus on areas that not only enhance your technical expertise, but also align with your company's goal. For instance, when I explore DevOps, I focus on improving process, security, cost efficiency, because they were like crucial for the company's growth. So
Right.
align those kind of things with your company growth. Because see, you have to choose a path. If you divert from the path, then you will go end up something else. Then obviously your skills will not get utilized properly. And
Right.
along with that, soft skills are just important as technical skill, which I already told, right? As an up skill, work as on communication, critical thinking, adaptability, leadership. So couple of things comes from the experience, but few things you have to learn from the team and everywhere. It's like either it's a junior or a senior or at your level, you have to learn and grab those kind of things, whichever are positive at your end. And learn from your mistakes. That is the most important thing. Solve problems effectively. And I told you, right? Upskilling is just about knowledge. It's about enhancing your overall effectiveness. Lastly, stay connected. Network is the most important thing today's in industry. Right. There are a lot of social medias, even best is LinkedIn, where you have to connect because see, you get to know their experience as well. And you will get some or other things from there, from your vendors, colleagues, industry experts, invaluable both learning and growing in the professionally. So in
Absolutely.
summary, I can say you should be stay curious, keep learning, focus on both technical and soft skills, nurture your professional network. These are the foundations of for upskilling yourself and thriving in the ever-changing corporate landscape.
Right. So, Mr. Jain, keeping that thought ahead, you have decided to join a board of directors and are studying international corporate governance. What plans do you have with your new position?
Okay, that was question here because see, now, something new to explore. You already know, that is in my habit and in my, it was there in my career, right? So something should be continuously evolving yourself and stepping into a boardroom position and studying international corporate governance is a natural extension of my journey. Okay, so I choose to pursue this area because it aligns with my long-term goal of
Mhm.
contributing our organization at a strategic level beyond just a technical or operational skill. Because till now I was working as a technical lead and operationally I was work with team members. Now, in a different way, corporate governance provides this is like to you can say stand for me to framework to know for accountability, transparency, and ethical decision making, which are essential for suitable growth. Again, so that is the complete different is a type of skill itself. So one of the main reason I opted for international corporate governance is the global perspective it offers. because
Mhm.
you have to go globally, because even in India also, you nowadays you can see, right, a lot of investments comes from globally. So those kind of things, it's very necessary to understand that how
Right.
things are working globally, as a governance from an international standpoints, which is helping in navigating different markets, regularity, environments, and culture. So
Right.
it's about ensuring that a company operates with integrity while meeting the demands of a diverse global economy. I
Right.
believe this knowledge will enable me to add more value to an organization by aligning their business strategy with governance principle that protect both the company and its stakeholders. Because it's very important globally to know first yourself, that how the different governance are working in different countries. There are a lot of rules and regulations are there, so those you have to know about it. And from the board of directors, my goal is to bring my experience into in IT and DevOps and business operation into the boardroom to help companies not only to manage their current challenges but also prepared for the future.
So, Mr. Jain, I'm 100% sure that you are definitely going to succeed in the directorship position as well as the field of corporate governance, especially since all this is ingrained into your DNA and into your system right since your childhood and across all the industries of experience that you have had so far. Coming to the last part of this podcast, you have opted for Directors Institute as your ultimate destination for studying international corporate governance. So, how close have you reached your directorship goal with our assistance?
Okay. So okay, so that is a part of journey of with the directorship position, and which I have chosen this to it's like to improve and increase in my skills. So this is it's like it's a continuous journey, I can say, because it's never stopping. And in the directorship goal, I'm going to complete soon, uh, and later this you can say the directorship certificate as well, with the help of director in this international corporate governance and institute, which is very nice. Miss like they are giving me the you can say there are a lot of different materials and learning and live classes also. So there are a lot of good learning practices which I am currently doing with them, and professionally they are means like nurturing my more different type of skills related, which is really required, and what are the do's and don'ts which we have to do, and which we have to be taken care when we are in the boardroom, when you will be the director. So there are a lot of really good learning, and that is completely a different challenge itself, you can say. And a little bit difficult part also, because you will get more responsibility on your shoulders when you will go into this area. So obviously your past experience you have to keep in mind, and learn few more things, and do your best.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mr. Jain. Your inputs have been fantastic, and the best part is that you've been absolutely open, and you have really brought out the sense of what it takes to actually succeed in this corporate world, and that's been absolutely fantastic, if I may say so. I'm really waiting to see your contributions in the corporate world, and we all wish you all the very best for your journey ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity, and it was a lovely conversation, and it was very nice to have a discussion on those kind of things. So it's really very well.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Jain. That wraps up today's episode. We look forward to bringing you more inspiring stories and insights from extraordinary leaders in our next installment. Until then, keep making a difference and embrace every step of your journey. See you.